Good morning. How are you guys doing this morning? It's a bit early in the morning, and some people are sleeping in the house. And I'm in Indiana for Christmas at my mom's house. And, anyways, this is a live VR to Happy Go Lucky Piper for his contest that giveaway that he has for his 150 subs. And I just like to say to Izzy, thank you, and thank you for this opportunity. I ain't never done this before, and as far as doing a VR or anything to enter into a contest or a giveaway, and so if I jumble around or jump around in a few things, I just ask for a little forgiveness and understanding, and also on account of my dyslexia, sometimes things just kind of jumble around in my head a lot. Of course, if you're watching my videos, I'm sure you can probably tell that. And oh, this good coffee I'm drinking out of my mug of Champions, little childhood cartoon I used to watch as a kid. Very awesome. And I am drinking some cinnamon coffee, kind of Christmassy by Starbucks. It's awesome. Well, I like to start off by saying that off and on, when it comes to like cigarettes and stuff, I'd have to say probably from the time I was maybe 9 or 10 years old, I've kind of smoked. And reason being for that is I grew up on a farm with tobacco, and I always got curious of, well, what's the difference between what we grow and what my mom smoked. And well, from there, it kind of led from there. And I'm 31 today, so you can kind of do the math there. But I've been trying to find some ways to get away from cigarettes and everything, and I've always had a fascination with pipes. I think maybe about sometime after I turned 18, I up and got a little cheap gas station corn cob. As which anybody that knows anything about them, they really ain't that great at all. And I had trouble keeping it lit and everything, but I just love the idea of how it made me look. And I thought that was kind of cool. And also, um, from there, I just kind of went back and forth between cigarettes. I smoked a few cigars too, and I like cigars. And when I found out really the way you're supposed to smoke a pipe, it's kind of almost similar to a cigar, not inhaling and everything. I'm sitting there thinking, well, maybe I can do this and maybe get away from cigarettes, and everything. And so that's why I started picking up pipe smoking. But in all actuality, as far as me actually being faithful to the pipe, I'd have to say it was either pre or mid summer of this year as far as pipe smoking is concerned. But I've learned a great deal in such a small amount of time, and I up and had gotten got me a corn cob, a Washington Missouri Meerschaum corn cob, and I'd gotten me a Washington hardwood pipe, and I figured, well, and they were basket pipes too, and I figured, well, every mistake that I'm going to make it with these pipes for one reason. One, any mistakes I make, they was cheap basket pipes. I can live with myself, if they got too majorly damaged or anything. I figured I could live with myself and that would be okay. And so that's why I got them. And my. I can't hardly hear you. Speak up. I'm doing a live feed, guys. Um, Sorry about not being able to speak up. Mom's still in bed, and I don't want to be too loud and wake her up. Hopefully, this helps. Um, anyways, um, where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about me buying these cheap little pipes, and I figured every mistake that I make with them, if they get tore up or anything, that's okay because I can use those to really learn and home in on being a real good piper. And so far I've done good. Now before I got them, I did try to get fancy real quick, and I bought a Meerschaum mineral press pipe, and I learned a big difference between solid block and that mineral press. And I got a video I made prior, um, that I think I call it some a harsh lesson I learned the hard way or something like that. And anyways, I kind of like showed you what I learned, and I'm glad it's much better, guys. Thank you. And anyways, um, um, I took in easy nose to learn, and now my dream pipes, I'd have to say, is a anything that's a bent. I love bent pipes for some reason. I love Petersons, and I love to have a calabash pipe. Those are my favorite pipes right there. And then I'd have to say from that would be a Seminelli and then a Meerschaum. And not only that, the reason why I like the Peterson and I like the Calabash because, well, I'm also a Sherlock Holmes fan, and Sherlock Holmes was always related to having, either a Peterson or originally started out with a Calabash pipe. I just always liked those pipes. And also too, I'm sure everybody out there in the YTPC has the grandfather story. I'm one of those. I had a grandfather that has smoked pipe, and everything too. And I just always been fascinated with the pipe. I love it. And anyways, I just thought it was really neat. And I remember the smells. I've always smelt cherry, and I love cherry tobacco. And I never was big on vanilla. Vanilla kind of makes me sick to my stomach. I don't know if I'm allergic to it or what, but it's just always gave me the sick feeling in my stomach. But um, I've always loved the smell of cherry and just other like berry smells. Growing up, I remember smelling, and so I'll share with you and also I like to say I'm more of an aromatic smoker. I've tried a few Virginias and stuff, and they're okay. I ain't gonna knock them, but it's just not my thing. Um, I'm more of an aromatic smoker. I like to try any and all aromatics, even though I'm not big on anything vanilla per se. But I will try any blend just one time just to see what I thought of it. Because just because one certain thing may not appeal to you, don't mean in another blend or in another way it's introduced doesn't appeal to you. But anyways, I'll just kind of show you some of the tobacco that I do like that I have on my person. Um, this here is called River Road, and it's a black Cavendish tobacco, and it's supposed to be apple and caramel flavor, but when I smoke it, I don't know if any of you's ever ate a bread pudding, but it is like a bread pudding without the nutmeg or the cinnamon, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful flavor. And then there is this tin here that I don't think I ever really be able to pronounce the name, but it is a black bourbon flavor mixed, and it's all black Cavendish, and it tastes like it was aged in the whiskey barrel itself. It is exquisite, and that is this tobacco right here. Matter of fact, when I got this from Stars, the guy that was in there told me, he said, me being a Kentucky man, he said any self-respecting Kentucky gentleman would like a good bourbon, and he said, I recommend this for you, buddy. And so I bought it, and he was right. It was great. And then another tobacco I like that's also by a well-known um, company, MacBurn's Tobacco, Cherry Ambrosia Aromatic Pipe Tobacco. I love this stuff. This stuff is great. I like it a lot, and it has that wonderful cherry flavor. Don't go sour in the bowl, and it's all the way around a wonderful, wonderful blend of tobacco. I recommend it for anybody. Now, I do have two other favorite blends that I have tried that I like, but I couldn't get a hold of because I really think they're just best sellers in the tobacco shop, um, or the tobacco store. One is called Cult Blood Red Moon, and the best way I can describe this tobacco is, first of all, cherry is prominently pronounced, chocolate is prominently pronounced, and once again, I'm not a vanilla fan, but there is a slight subtle vanilla hint in it that pushes the chocolate and the cherry up to the front, that gives it that kick it needs. And it's also an aromatic that tastes just as good in the smoke as it does in the tin note and the room note. It is a beautiful tobacco. I would even classify it to be a sexy aromatic, in my opinion. Because why I say that is after I've smoked it a few times, if I'm out and about and people think I'm wearing some kind of cologne, some of the ladies, especially at the mall, they're like, "Oh, where'd you get that cologne at?" And I tell them, I said, "Well, it's my aromatic tobacco I smoke, and it strikes up a good conversation. It's a good lady killer. Um, but yeah, that's what I classify that tobacco as. It's a wonderful tobacco. I recommend it. If nobody ain't tried it, get it. It's awesome. I would also like to try other blends by that company too, or that blender. Um, as which there's one that I seen that they had online, but I can't remember what it's called. But I'd even try it. Uh, and another blend that I love that is a German blend, and I do not know if I'm pronouncing it right, so forgive me if I ain't. I think it's called Veneer or Veneer. Um, it's a German tobacco, and it's called Nutty Cut, and I love it. It tastes great. It tastes like it was just grown and picked right off the plant itself, and that makes me happy. It's a great morning coffee blend. It goes great with coffee, and also, um, it, it it's like a in between an aromatic and a straight tobacco, non-aromatic, and it's just the right subtlety even, and I think maybe that's the closest I ever came to like crossing the border. Now I had smoked a blend one time that was like a crossing between a straight Virginia and a straight Virginia, two straight Virginias, and I still liked them to a certain degree. They was kind of citrusy and everything, but I'm more of an aromatic smoker. I love aromatics. There's a lot of aromatics I want to try. Um, be honest with you, if I had about $10,000 on me, I'd probably fill a storeroom full of nothing but aromatics. That are exotic aromatics, even things I've never heard of before. Um, I like to try some berry blends. I really would like berries and chocolate and all sorts of berry flavored tobaccos, especially if they come in Cavendish. Um, I dearly love Cavendish tobaccos. Well, I think that might cover the first question that you wanted us to give. I think. I hope. And I'm a little nervous doing this, because I'm trying to think of, remember, and I even jotted down here, some notes that you wanted, that you wanted us to talk about, And now I'll get to a miracle. This is the Christmas season, and over there it's Hanukkah for you folks. And and also in the spirit of Hanukkah, even though I'm not Jewish or anything, but I just felt the need to light a candle for you. And knowing that it's morning, and I'm trying not to be loud, and I just thought I'd add a little, make it Christmassy, and festive. But anyways, my miracle would have to be that I was able to come here to see my mom, and it was a long trip getting here. Um, I was at the Cincinnati bus station, and some guy tried to steal my bags right out of my hand, and I said a few things that I kind of regret saying, but I later on found out before he tried to take my stuff, he assaulted a woman too prior, and after I said the stuff I said, I started seeing security come, and I thought they was coming to haul me off. Instead, they was taking him out, and so I thanked the Lord there. And then I was sitting at the bus stop or the bus station for about 3.5 hours because the bus originally should have left out at 7 o'clock sharp in the morning, but they had an issue with a driver. So I was sitting there at the bus stop station for that long a time. Then I get up to Indianapolis, and I have an hour delay there. And then I get on the bus, get to Terre Haute, Indiana, and I'm waiting there for about 4 hours for my sister to come get me. And so pretty much I spent that entire day pretty much at a bus station. And but now I'm here, and I'm thankful about that. I live in Kentucky in a little place called Cold Springs. You blink your eye and you go right through it. It's a small little town, and I work in a nearby Walmart in a place called Alexandria. And I love the little area. I was fortunate to have the apartment I get, or that I have, and and I'm thankful about that. If you look at some of my prior videos, you'll see where I've showed sceneries and stuff from my porch or balcony, and that was really cool. And also, um, I'm just real thankful to be here at my mom's, and that's a real miracle to me. And also to anybody that works in retail, you know the struggle that it is to even try around this time of the year to get any day off. And I'd have to say too, the Lord blessed me with some management and a friend that knew how to help me talk to management, and everything, and also encouraged me and set me on the right path to talk to some people and everything. And I'm just thankful that these managers understood, and that they're alone, especially working in retail, that alone in itself is a God sent miracle. And I'm thankful for this. I really am. And then as far as shout outs, the third thing you wanted us to do, um, some of my shout outs ain't necessarily YTPC channels, but it's still shout outs I want to give anyways. The first one is, if you're a man that loves to cook, or if you're a woman that loves to cook, or if you're a man that wants to get into cooking but don't know really where to start, I like to recommend Cooking with Jack channel. Cooking with Jack is an average guy that went to culinary school and everything, and he's a Christian and God fearing. And he's also on Facebook under Cooking with Jack, and he shows you what he calls lazy man recipes. He shows you how to cook other things that are gourmet style. Why all from your own home kitchen? And I've tried a few of his things, and they are absolutely awesome, and they impress the ladies. And they'll impress your wife if you're married. And And also, these skills could also help you get a wife. Just saying. But I recommend Cooking with Jack show. And if you're in the reptiles, I follow a few reptiles channels. One is called Viper Keeper. This guy keeps nothing but venomous snakes, and I'm not one. I like snakes from a distance, and I like learning about them, and I like watching stuff about them. And other than that, I'm scared to death of snakes, or almost close to it. Like I can handle a snake from a far away, or even a few feet from me, but any closer, no. This fat boy will jump a fence. Believe that. I'll even hurdle a bull if I had to. Get away from a snake. And anyways, he's a good channel to watch. Very educational, informative. He shows you everything that you are supposed to do right and tells you about the risks of handling venomous snakes. And the intro to his videos are is one big giant warning, about how handling venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby. And he says the most deadliest venomous snake is the one that just bit you, as which makes lots of sense. And it's just an educational video. And he even has some snakes, some vipers, I guess, or even from over there in Israel, even. And that's kind of cool. And another reptile channel that I watch, um, it's called the vlog, with a guy named Brian, and I can't pronounce his last name, but he's a pretty cool channel to watch. And he also has another one called Snake Bites TV, and that's cool to watch too. And him and his wife and his family own a reptile shop um, up there in Michigan, and it's called BHB. And they also have a website. And one thing I really love about them is I love leopard geckos, and I think leopard geckos are just so neat, and I want to own one someday or a couple. And I've been learning all I can about them, and I watched their channel to learn a little bit. Another one is just called Leopard Geckos, and it's a girl that does this, that raises them, and she raises all types of reptiles and animals, but I think it's mostly just geckos she raises. She has three or four of the most beautifulest leopard geckos ever, and then she has one crested gecko, and they're all just beautiful looking little animals. And this little girl, she's like, well, I don't know if she's little or not. I'm just assuming she's little, but or maybe she might be preteen. I could be wrong, but she's so informative, very highly intellectual and intelligent about care of geckos and care of reptiles, period. And if you like educational stuff, I recommend checking out that channel. And then um, there's a few channels from the YTPC I follow. Portland Pipe Smoker. He's a good channel I recommend to check out. Um, Smoking Pipe Board Gamer. I hope I pronounced his name right. I feel bad every time. I'm not sure if I did, but he's a cool guy to check out too. Especially if you're also into like table card games and stuff. I'm not really all into that, but I like seeing the looks on people's faces when they're playing stuff like that. It's kind of cool. But anyways, he's a good one to watch. Another one is Mutton Chop Piper. I like watching that guy. He's very awesome and informative, and he also has a bling club that he does for YouTubers. And this year, I want to try to get some of the tobaccos that's on the list for this year and participate in that. And I recommend checking that out. And even if you ain't, check it out and might participate into it. You never know it. It's very fun, informative, and educational too. And also, there's I think they're called Cobb Foolery, or maybe it's the website they have that's called Cobb Foolery. But the people that run the Cobb Foolery, they have a YouTube channel too. I can't remember what they're called offhand, but they all about, or as one of them guys said, they sold their soul to the Cobb, and they're real funny to watch. Very interesting, and I like their stuff. It's educational and informative as far as smoking a corncob pipe and care of a corncob pipe, and I just think they're a wonderful, funny channel to watch. I recommend them. And also, another channel that I discovered one time back early summer is, I used to have a handlebar mustache, as you can see in some of my older videos, and I was looking up um, some tips and tricks to better care for my mustache and everything, to make it look more presentable. And I ran across this guy that not only did he deal with hair for a living and facial hair, beards, and mustaches, mostly beards though, and hair, but he smoked a pipe too. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Gray Bailey channel. If you ain't never seen that before or watched him, I recommend going to him because not only is he highly intellectual and very informative on things, whether it's product, whatever. He don't lie to you. He tells you straightforward what it is, what's happening, and he won't steer you wrong. And I also have to say this: he has a great voice, and I highly admire his voice. I wish my voice was as good as his voice sounds. I told him, I sent in one of his comments one time. I put on one of his comment one time, telling him that if I could pay somebody to narrate my life, I would pay him to do it if I could afford it, because he has this narrating voice that I would equal up to being George Earl Jones' narrated voice. And he has a few videos where he reads some little stories, and he has this wonderful, elegant reading voice. I told him one time that he could probably read microwave instructions and make it sound just the best thing ever, you know. And I recommend checking out the Gray Bailey channel. If you ain't, I recommend it totally. And you also will learn a lot of things too. I love his things about how he says, how to get unstuck, how to stay unstuck in life. And I love that. And and let's see. And there's also, I don't know how to pronounce the channel name, and I wish I would have wrote it down before I'd done this. But Berman, it's either Berman or Brigham or Brennan Pipe Smoker. He's also the one I done the Yabo that sent me the box. And also, while I'm down here in Indiana, I'm going to also do the maiden voyage of the pipe he sent me too, and the one of the tin of tobacco that he sent me. But I recommend checking out his channel. He's awesome. He shows you cool things around the area, and he's very informative, not only in the local history, but he's very informative about tobaccos there in Europe, things that are going on over there with the YTPC area over there and everything. Very informative, and an all the way around cool guy, very friendly. He'll always try to respond back to your messages. Always gives a like, he always does, or a big old heart, on the comment. And I've had the pleasure of corresponding with this man. His name's Mark, and through email and everything, and he's just a good guy. I couldn't recommend him any more than what I could anybody, because in between him and Gray Bailey, Um, if I had to choose in between which one, I'd say Put Me Out of My Misery, because him and that channel I really like and really followed and was inspired. And then also, I'm sure just about everybody out here on the YTPC knows who Derek Tant is. Um, I follow his channel, but here's the funny thing is, I had been watching his videos. Okay, I guess they call it lurking. I'd been watching his videos, not really realizing when I, started watching YTPC stuff. I never realized, that this is the guy that people talk about, but I run across this stuff once in a while, and finally I realized whenever I seen him comment on someone that done a VR to him, and I'm like, wait a minute, that picture looks familiar, by his comment. I clicked on that comment, and just so happens I clicked on his picture or whatever, or however you can like link to someone else's channel. I done that, and when I realized who it was, I was like, oh my god, I've been watching this guy off and on, and this is one of the guys that also inspired me and encouraged me, from watching him to want to do and participate in the YTPC. And so I ended up checking and subscribing to his channel during his giveaway. And I'm just like, oh, and I made a comment and kind of done what he had asked, but I told him I felt that since I just subscribed, that I should be withdrawn or disqualified from, the contest, that or his giveaway. But in one of his other videos, he had looked at me, or, well, not looked at me, but that's kind of country uh, terminology there. Sorry about that. But he had said on my comment, he said, to cut it down short, more or less told me, he said, you are in, good luck. And in my comment I'd sent before that was, I wished luck to everybody, that was into the contest and everything, and to the lucky winner of this beautiful pipe that he's giving away, and everything. And when he said that, it kind of shocked me, and so anyways, that's my shout out to him. Derek Tant. He's also very informative, and also about the infamous FDA. And I could go on and on about how I think the FDA is crappy. And for those of you that are not in America, the FDA is it stands for Food and Drug Administration, meaning they're supposed to screen all this stuff before it's put on the market to make sure it is absolutely safe for human consumption. And not really going in depth in that, because that's not what this VR is about, but let's just say this. I think a 3-year-old would have more discernment than what the FDA does. And that's just my opinion. Well, I like to say to you, Izzy, happy-go-lucky Piper, thank you for what you do. Thank you for also checking out my stuff and being a fan of mine. And I'm a fan of yours. And I hope I'm one of the lucky people in the drawing. But if not, that's okay. I like to say good luck to everybody out there in the YTPC that's done this. And either which way, I'm happy whether I win or whether I don't win, because I like your channel and 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 everything, and I'm glad that I can do this to kind of honor you a little bit. And I like to also say one little thing that's on a little personal bit about something that you said in one of your videos, and I felt like maybe I needed to maybe share a little educational thought with you. And I'd just like to say, first of all, nothing you said offended me in any form, shape, or way. I just wanted to be helpful and informative and educational about a particular thing. It has to do with the so-called word peace pipe. Um, the pipe that you've seen in the movies and everything, or seen pictures and everything that people have noted to be peace pipe. Well, I like to tell you, here in the States, we got a thing called Hollywood. And way back in the day, these people decided to set out to try to kind of make Native people either look stupid or look like they're a little non intelligent and stuff like that, and kind of tried to ruin what the meaning is behind the culture. And I'd just like to give you a little helpful, informative thing about the peace pipe. First of all, it's not, we don't call it peace pipe whatsoever. It's That's a very degrading thing for a pipe, because to Native people, those particular pipes are sacred. They're ceremonial pipes, is what we call them. And each Native nation, and even certain clans, even and certain Native nations, have a particular ceremonial pipe. And just a bit of an educational thing about the Cherokee culture. The Cherokee have a ceremonial pipe that has 7 stems coming out of each end of it, and each of those 7 stems represent a clan, and only that particular clan can take a puff off of that side because it's for that clan. And Native people believe, and it is my belief, that when it comes to a ceremonial pipe, that when you take the smoke into your mouth, you've already said a prayer, and the prayer is in your mind, it is in your heart. And whenever you release the smoke, your prayer is carried to Creator God, and that's what that pipe is for. It's for prayer. That's why it's called a ceremonial pipe, because of it. It's being used for prayer, for spiritual things. And I also like to say in your one video too, that very same video, I can't remember everything you said, or like as far as wording is concerned, but I love the idea, and I love the fact that like how the word pipe translates in your language to being incense to God. And and when I heard that, I realized, well, wait a minute, there is some similarities with the native culture and that, and I'd just like to tell you, thank you for sharing that information, and also thank you for the inspiration that you gave me through that video. And I just I hope you get something out of the knowledge I shared with you, and I thank you for all that you do. And wherever you're at in this world, I just hope and pray that you are blessed. And I don't know, I can't remember how to end this live feed. So, y'all getting a few bloopers with this. But anyways, wherever you're at in this world, may you be blessed. Thank you.